Mystic, where we discuss real, metaphysical, and occult knowledge so that you can manifest real and tangible results in your life. Today, we're going to be discussing a little bit about dragon magic and just how exactly dragons view tools in magic and why. So stay tuned. However, before we do that, obligatory YouTube stuff. Bob, take it away.
Well, hello there, seekers and prospective dabblers alike. I'm sure many of you have likely heard this before, but the Dark Roast Monster here is having me read this before I can go back to what I was doing, so please bear with me. Please consider supporting Drake and everything he is working on by utilizing the YouTube memberships. For each tier of said memberships, you may find that you unlock additional perks, such as private live streams, monthly spell workings, and others. Also, feel free to peruse some of our merchandise on our shop's page. We have t-shirts, towels, mugs, and many other items and garments, each with their own bit of art on them, like the Draconic Rulers and the Dragon's Eye Seal. We also have this one hosting regular live streams on Sundays at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're one admin I'm thinking of in particular, remember to convert the time zone and set an alarm. At these streams, you can listen in on Drake's latest work, ask him questions, and generally have a decently thought-out discussion. For those looking for a more long-term involvement with the community, others to talk shop with, or peers to learn and develop alongside, please check out our community on Guilded. There, you'll find a variety of different people and different cultures and practices, and in one of the admin's case, a wonderful use of the mute button. I mean, that blonde one just, when he goes on a rant, he just goes, and doesn't stop. I mean, does he ever shut... What? Oh, okay, fine. On topic. For all interested in set, easy-to-follow courses on magic in its many facets, take a look at Drake's online school on teachable.com. Here, he hosts a steadily growing roster of courses on different topics of magic. If you find that you don't see something that you're looking for, let us know. We'll try to find it or incorporate it in the future. From beginner to learned adept, all should find something that they didn't know prior. Links for everything I've mentioned in the description below.
Okay, so when it comes to magic, depending on the tradition you decide to start in, or the path you choose, or if you're just reading around the internet, we hear a lot of talk about tools in magic. And oftentimes, the tools get very, very confusing. And I know many of you have heard me state on this channel, I really don't use a lot of tools. In fact, most of my tools are just tools. I'll grab a hammer out of the shed. I will grab a knife out of a toolbox. I'll use my pocket knife. Any of those things will work just as fine as anything else for me. However, when it comes to dragon magic, I constantly get emails when it comes to tools and what tools I use and why. And really, at the end of the day, the truth is it comes down to entirely the dragons themselves. In dragon magic, dragons view tools as kind of a crutch. In most cases, not all cases, in most cases. So they would actually prefer to teach us to utilize our power and to move energy and to manipulate energy with as few tools as possible. Now, a lot of people will point to Conway's works, where she lists off all these tools. We got swords, we got books, we got chalices, we got pentacles, And Conway's works, though very Wicca heavily inspired, also drew heavily, or drew somewhat from ceremonial magic, and that's where she got the tools. You could pick up any book on ceremonial magic and the standard tools of ceremonial magic, and you'll see practically everything there, minus the dragon pentacle, which has nothing to do with dragon magic in the long term anyways. But you could use them. There's nothing wrong with using them. The dragons themselves prefer us to not use them. They prefer us to learn to master ourselves. They don't want us to be caught in a situation where we're powerless because we ain't got a knick-knack or a tool or something. And that makes a lot of sense. Now, in Dragon Magic 101, the course I teach, we actually go through that whole course with, honestly, without any tools that you would see in Conway's book, with one exception, and that is the staff. And many people on this channel have seen this in the past. This is one of the few tools I do actually keep from early in my practice. This is a very, very meaningful tool. This has a lot of emotional meaning to me. And this is something that me and the dragons have worked on for years to craft. Now, it is often referred to as the staff. In Dragon Magic 101, we do cover that the dragons refer to it as the staff, rod, or wand, or staff, cane, and wand. And that's essentially, they're just three different lengths of the same tool, and they can all serve the same function. But this tool here is something that's crafted along your path. It's not just a tool for manipulating energy. It is also a tool that represents your dedication and your commitment. You can't cheat in Dragon Magic and craft this. You can't. And what's more, a Dragon Magic practitioner who has really done the work, when they see a staff like this, they can tell how dedicated you are to your practice by the sheer energy in this, which I find really kind of cool, but it's also a little bit like, because it is almost like it's almost like a public statement of where you're at in your path and your progress. And it also is something the dragons themselves can see easily as well. You do not want to take shortcuts on this. Now, that is one of the big things about it. That is why it is so meaningful to the Dragon Magic practitioner, is because of that. This, to fully craft a full, complete staff like this, takes years. Absolutely years. We start crafting this in Dragon Magic 101, and it takes several months just to complete the first phase. The second phase is actually even worse to do, and then there is a final phase beyond that. This, just to craft this fully and completely for a Dragon Magic practitioner, will take years of their practice and dedication, and they're going to be working with it constantly throughout that time as well. But why do dragons put a slightly better focus on this than other tools? Well, one of the primary things that this tool does is it allows us to take in some of those draconic energies that, by and large, we as humans cannot work with at certain levels. And it allows us to balance them in a way that allows them to be easier for us to work with as we ourselves grow, as we grow. Now, it is true, as you learn, as you experience over the years, you won't need this to balance and control those energies, because you become the balance, you become the control. This is what gets you started. This allows you to take steps beyond what you can do without it. Because believe me, I have seen the results of people walking into and dealing with dragons without this. This is like the lightning rod, okay? This is what's going to allow you to walk into those areas and begin to learn, to begin to understand those energy currents and their power, how they affect you, and how to keep them in balance while you do your workings. Without this, you actually cannot. I have seen those energies completely destroy a person's life just for sticking their toe in it. But the whole kicker is, at the end of the day, for a true Dragon Magic practitioner who has walked the path, they have learned, they have applied themselves, they have disciplined themselves, there comes a time where suddenly this isn't required now, interestingly enough. In fact, you would have to have this completely finished and ready to go from Dragon Magic 101 before you stepped into Dragon Magic 103, for example. Now, through 102, use this. Continue using this. Continue working with it. It will help you in 102. You'll get more out of 102 with it. But it's this and its completion, we start in 101 so that we will have it ready and completed in 103. Because we do start to walk into those darker areas, those more chaotic pathways, the more destructive forces. And we have to be able to balance them around us and in us. And that is kind of the big thing when it comes to it. That is all this is. This just gets us started, okay? That gets us started. Now, because it is a symbol of our progression, it is a symbol of our dedication, it is a symbol of the work that we've put forth for ourselves and with the dragons. Once this thing is truly, truly complete in its entirety, in its completion, which is something that you see, around Dragon Magic 104, the completion of the entirety of this staff. It is like the diploma. It is your graduating diploma. But by that point, you're also at the point where, as a magician, I'd say 80% of the energies you should already know. You should know them very, very well at that point. And you won't be leaning on this to balance those energies out. But the emotional connection, the symbol of the work, the symbol of your dedication, that it still is. And it is that symbol. But for the completed Draconic practitioner, Dragon Magic practitioner, they know at that point in time that this helped them to get there. It helped them. It was a tool, and it did help them. It is a symbol of their dedication. They also know they can pursue forward without it. They can set it down, and they can pursue forward safely due to the skills and abilities they've learned along the way. And they will always be grateful for it. But it does definitely always have that emotional connection to you. Now, the way it is crafted, you and it work together really well. As a tool, it can help you direct energy very, very easily. That is true. And I'm not saying you should just toss it and get rid of it. Tools are helpful. Let's be honest. Tools are helpful. There is a difference between does nothing and not needed. Okay? It would still do something. It's still a very, very useful tool to the Dragon Magic practitioner. But it wouldn't be needed. And in too many practices this day and age, the dragons actually kind of get a chuckle, because if you take a practitioner's tools away, you take their power away. And that is something the dragons try to avoid. And that's why you won't be seeing a lot of tools truly around dragons. They don't put stock in them. They put stock in you. They put stock in me. They want us to empower ourselves. They want us to grow. They don't care about the tools. And that's just that simple. A ritual dagger to a dragon is no different than a pocket knife. If you want to use a dagger to direct energy, pull your pocket knife out and use it. Use a chopstick, actually. They don't mind that either. They don't even care the material. But this is a question I have gotten a lot of: what tools you are required to have, what do you need? Honestly, when you first start out in Dragon Magic, especially at the beginner levels, you don't need tools. You don't. In fact, if you work through Dragon Magic 101, we talk about this. We tell you to start looking for it, and if you find it, you can start using it. But we don't get into actually crafting it till the very end of the course. And that's important, because we want you to understand tools don't make the magician. It's a tool. You are the power. You are the control. You are the discipline. Okay? I hope this makes sense. I know it's a little weird video, but it is one thing I've been getting a lot of questions on, and I was hoping to clear it up. Alright? So, I'm going to get back to work. You all have a wonderful day. Until next time, I'm Drake. This has been Working Dragon Mystic. Take care. Bye-bye.